to me, Lauryn Hill, I just cannot imagine my life without the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I know it's only the one album. I know it's just the one movie, but they are very close to my heart. And so I don't think that I can let it go.
Jesus just has the one book.
You say Jesus just has.
That's what. Yes, that's what she said. That's what she said.
I'm done.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Confab Experience. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Hi.
Hey. What up? What up?
So today we have a very special episode. We have some very special guests. Today we are welcoming Obed and Terrell. Obed is an actor, director, writer, entrepreneur who actually just started his own Instagram live show called Red Cup Talks. And Terrell is a cook, actor, comedian, father, and longtime entrepreneur of Rel's Dream Cuts. So nice. Welcome, fellas. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, our pleasure. Our pleasure. So we asked you guys here because clearly there's a lot of estrogen on this show, you know?
A little bit.
Didn't notice.
Didn't notice.
A
little bit.
No, just saying there's a lot of ladiness happening. So we thought we would bring you guys in to balance us out for at least one episode. You know, maybe we can talk about some things. We had an episode on feminism not too long ago, and we would just love to get your thoughts on some of our opinions.
No comment.
Sound good?
So enough.
No problem.
Okay, so we talked on our episode about feminism, just about the connotation that the word sort of conjures for people and how it's changed over the years. And so from a male perspective, if you were to meet someone and they're just like, yeah, I'm a feminist, what would you think? Like, what in your mind, like, what would your reaction be?
Well, my intake is, I would say, what do you live under a rock? But it's weird to see guys that haven't grasped the fact that women are just as equal as men in now society and should have been appreciated more in the then society. And to hear about a feminist, I just think about the fact that I have plenty of women in my family that don't get frowned down upon, and it's sad to hear, you know. I don't look down upon them for being that way. You know, some people you just can't help, but I don't agree with it. I believe women should be treated the same as men.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, that's,
but then they would be feminists.
Yeah, feminists are people that actually are fighting for women's rights.
Anything with an ist.
Yes, that is true. It does make you think about it.
It has a negative connotation on about it.
It makes you think about the word. Like, why would that word be the one that's like pro when in every other instance, sexist, racist, like everything else, ageist,
a bigamist.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
it's negative.
Right.
There's no good ists.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to think feminist is a good thing? Okay, apparently it is. So
I'm gonna sign up for that conspiracy because I think I agree. I like that.
Liana, it's a conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy.
It is.
No, that's true. I didn't even think about it like that, but
I didn't either. I guess you're waiting on my opinion. Well, I would simply just say you're a feminist. Great, now make me a sandwich. No, but in all seriousness, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's not illegal yet. It's not illegal yet. No, but I would more or less go back on the sentiments of Terrell and say that anyone that is against women's rights, you know, like, what's wrong with you? At the same time, I think when the average man hears feminist, we think of the extremes. So, like, for instance, if I say I'm pro-black, a Caucasian thinks, oh, no, you hate my guts. No. You know, if I say I'm a feminist, oh, wow, you don't agree that, you know, we should be in charge or whatever. You don't think that a man should take charge. You're a man hater. Mm-hmm. You hate everything that we do. Get away from me. You know, so I feel that of course, I'm for women's rights. Of course, I want women to get paid equal or whatever it is that they're worth, the true value of whatever it is that they're doing. And I just wish that when it comes to this conversation, that men understand what the actual definition of a feminist is. Because sometimes we hear it and it's like, oh, God, all right, just go away. All right, you're feminist. All right, I'm going to go to the other aisle, But if you have that conversation to get an understanding, because then again, you have instances where, for instance, with me, I was just walking around and I bumped into someone that says, oh, yeah, I'm a feminist. I'm like, oh, great, good for you. Well, yeah, pro-Roman, yeah. But then some theories that she was saying, I'm like, what are you, like, what are you talking about? So, for example, this is a true story. I promise you. We're talking, and she says, because men have been in charge for so long, she believes that men over 40 should not be in politics or any position of leadership. She also believes that for 200 years, men should just give up all types of authority and let it over for women, and it should be illegal that any man is in authority. I understand where she's coming from.
Did she have trauma as a child?
However,
that's a little
I'm like, hey, who beat you up? But
Dream.
And I was just like, I understand where you're coming from. However, just because you're a woman does not equate you to being a better candidate or a better leader. It's about your values. It's about who you are as a person or human being. So I get where she's coming from, but at the same time, you say, men were in charge for all years, but if you're a Black person, how long were you in charge for? So it's just different things.
So it sounds like an extreme statement.
Yeah.
But there is, like, just talking about politics, like, these are lifetime appointments, right? And people generally, like, and we've seen this in corporations, like, people generally hire people who look like them. Right?
Very true.
Like you end up hiring people that you can go play golf with or whatever. I don't know, guys, whatever y'all, whatever you guys do, right? Like that you can be like whatever with, right?
Okay,
so
go ahead.
For politics specifically, if for the next foreseeable future, all of these white men are going to be in power, then what's like, how would a woman get into one of the positions unless something comes across and does like something drastic, like all the white men have to go now, and then, or maybe it should be a toss-up, like vacate all the seats and then let's like go for them and see who winds up on top.
I agree with that sentiment, but I think the point of it was more or less, you shouldn't, to be in a position of power or leadership, you should be a leader. Leadership has no gender because some women are better leaders than men, and some men are good leaders as well.
I think that the whole like no men over 40 and no like that's extreme. That's a crazy thought.
Way extreme.
But if women and men are 50% and 50%, in the country, why is it not 50% in the, in our legislative body, or 50% on the top levels and stuff like that? And how can we move? So I think to push to say no men in charge, like that's just
extreme.
That's ridiculous. But how do we get it to where we are equally represented in all places of power?
Yeah.
And I think that that's more of a real feminism conversation. Like, how do we get to be like seriously equal?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
And just to play devil's advocate,
sure,
women are 50% of the population, which means there are a whole lot of women in the world. And for a really long time, it was just men in power. Still, it's mostly men in power. So just from a numbers perspective, there probably are plenty of women who have leadership qualities. They could fill all the leadership positions, just as there have been men who were able to fill all the leadership positions. But I agree that it's extreme. I was just saying.
Oh no,
It's math.
no.
It's math.
There
It's
are
math.
definitely.
This government that we have.
We probably could run the whole
I mean-
joint, but I mean,
Okay, Beyonce, whatever you say, whatever's
Just
right.
saying, the government is an old system. It's been the same way
True.
for eons. So to try to break it down in one go it would be next to impossible. So it's not that a woman. I wouldn't say a woman couldn't run the world. A woman
Same.
could run the world,
Same.
and it's probably going to be that way in the future. But right now, it has to. I feel the government has to be broken down and then put back together. Until then, it's not going to be any change, and that's for blacks, whites, women, men. It doesn't matter for
are
anybody.
you calling for a revolution?
Oh. I think Kirk Franklin. I think Kirk Franklin
That's
said
a
that.
Confab experience.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We're not.
CIA, we don't want those
Allegedly.
problems.
All you guys do is say
Don't want those
allegedly and you're safe. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We're
Allegedly.
allegedly speaking.
I
that.
come in peace.
Okay, so speaking of equality in sports, especially in tennis, women play, less sets than men. Maybe they're like weaker. I don't know. So maybe, do you guys think that women athletes should be paid the same as male athletes?
Well, just because you just started off with tennis, I'm gonna go there. Tennis players at least should be paid the same because I mean Serena Williams and Venus, the Williams sisters are the dopest set of sisters I've seen in forever, but there are up and coming women, not African American, that are dope. The women tennis players are extremely great when it comes to that sport. So I would say they deserve equal pay. Yes. I don't want to go and sound like a sexist. I use that one right, y'all, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Got it.
I don't want to sound like a sexist, but when it comes to like, there's football, professional women football players. They are professional women basketball players, as we all know, professional women baseball players, soccer players. It's all of these sports that have professional women's players. I'll just speak about one: basketball. Basketball, they feel as though they deserve equal pay as a. Now, if you look at somebody like
Candace Parker.
No, I was thinking about a male player, Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry, I think his contract is like $200 million for like 4 years.
Yes, I know.
I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, he deserves a $200 million contract. I don't know what anybody really deserves. He's great. He's a beast of a player. Yeah. But as the NBA, I'm just speaking about the NBA. The NBA as itself been around for forever. They are the beginner's sport. It began with the NBA. When from the NBA started the WNBA. Now, can women and men play together? I'm sure they can. It happens all across the states. Yeah, and but I feel as though, for me, it's not as interesting to watch the WNBA as it is to the NBA because I'm so used to the NBA. But it's the WNBA. These women, they could ball. But they have to put that time. I feel like they have to put the time in. Like the NBA didn't. They didn't just start off getting $1 million contracts and all of these big things and things like that. They started from scratch. They didn't get. A lot of them didn't get anything
in the beginning. Yeah.
So I mean, yes, they've been around for over 20 years, but they still. I feel like it's been a lot of progress. But I feel like they have to put a lot more. Not a lot more, but they just have to put more time in to get their just due.
So it's interesting that you equate like their lack of payment to the time that they've put into something, because I personally think like greatness is either you is or you ain't, right? Like, so either you are or you're not, and there's no time component to it. I mean, I think that there's a perfection to your craft, but I would I could understand the argument from a revenue point of view because
That's what I was gonna say.
does the WNBA generate what the
Yeah.
NBA generates?
Yes.
That's what I was gonna
But
say.
the timepiece, that's interesting. I don't know, because it almost seems like you're saying that just because the
They'll
men
never get to that point because
Yeah.
they'll always be 75 years behind
Mhm.
Absolutely.
the NBA.
I think to piggyback off of what Stacey said, you're reading my mind. That's not fair, but
It's a woman thing.
okay. Good, it's a woman thing. Yeah, woman thing. But in all seriousness, it's all. I think the conversation when it comes to the WNBA and the NBA is business. I don't think it's necessarily because in a perfect world, yes, like I said before in the beginning, women should get paid as much as men get paid if they do the same position. That's just a given. But when it comes to the revenue of the WNBA, ESPN in recent years has tried to do as much as a push to get the WNBA to be a popular sport. However, the views have not reflected. Now, because of that, as much as someone said it best, I think it was Jalen Rose. He said, "You are not you are worth what someone is willing to bargain for." I think that's what it is. Or you're worth what people are willing to pay for. And
That's what it is.
if you're not generating enough revenue for the WNBA as a brand to be $1 billion plus company, then you can't expect to get that same amount of money as were the NBA. Now, like I said, in a perfect world, like for instance, the tennis players, Serena Williams and Venus Williams, they actually generate a whole demographic that tennis doesn't necessarily draw on a regular basis. So they deserve to get paid as much or more than Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, in my personal opinion. That's just facts. I'm not watching Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. I'm just not doing it. But if Serena is playing, I'm gonna watch.
That's
I'm just gonna watch.
That's the only time I watch tennis.
Absolutely.
So
what about
women can wear skirts?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not. I knew you were going there. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to be sexually glamorized for you to get the exact. No, not at all. Because in the case, if you take it to the WNBA, Candace Parker is a very beautiful woman. However, does her being attractive attract as much views as LeBron James, who is a much uglier gentleman? No.
But what about soccer? Are you guys familiar?
I was going to say, what about soccer?
What about
That's where I
soccer?
was going.
Like
What
I
about
said,
soccer?
the same rule of thumb. If the woman,
No, because
What
it's
are you
not
talking
the same rule of thumb. And you guys who are more familiar with soccer, I believe so. The U.S. soccer team has won. The women's soccer team has won way more than the women.
they've been killing it. Absolutely.
And I believe they draw more,
way more views.
than men. Yet they're still not even paid anything close to the men. Do you think that's because they haven't been doing it as long?
That was a shot at me. Was that
No, I was
shot at
Yeah,
me?
yes, I'm gonna say yes. Yes, it was.
I was just
Yes,
asking.
it was.
I was just asking.
You almost made me choke.
Well, Stacia,
No,
I'll answer this as best as I can. I don't know if it's because they haven't been, because you know why? I hate soccer. And I say it publicly. I don't watch soccer, not
At
ever.
all.
I don't watch the World Cup. I don't know why it's considered America's favorite sport. I don't.
The world's favorite sport.
I mean,
isn't
the
it?
world. It
The
is.
world's
You know, because
favorite
it's
sport.
viewed upon the world. I get it.
okay, Europeans.
It's just more TVs to turn off for me. But at the end of the day, I can't really comment on why soccer because I'm really not a fan.
Now, are you
At all.
saying? I want to ask this question. Are you saying women's USA soccer is more valuable? Brings in more revenue than the men's soccer or the World Cup
Yes.
in general?
That's sexist.
Exactly, and that is a problem.
If they bring more money in, if they're bringing more money
Oh,
in,
okay.
Oh,
Yeah, they do. They
no,
do.
I'm saying
No,
if
if they're bringing more money.
if that's the facts and they're bringing more money in and they have a higher following, it's no reason why they shouldn't get more money.
Exactly.
Okay, I see.
exactly.
Yeah, you didn't catch us there.
Yeah,
You didn't catch us
yeah.
there. We're not caught. We're not
I
caught.
didn't know that. See, I don't.
We listen.
You're
We
teaching
listen.
me something.
Uh-huh.
Imagine that, Stacia.
Well, speaking of respect, so on the episode that we did on feminism, we talked a little bit about Meg the Stallion in her situation with Tory Lanez. And I feel like a lot has happened since then. But we had a conversation about how women who portray themselves a certain way tend to be less protected in society. So I guess the question is, when you sort of first heard about that situation, what were your thoughts?
God damn.
Well, when you said just what you just said about being less protected because you live a certain life, Black women have been less protected in general.
Okay, man.
So they are I don't know how you feel about this, and how anybody feels about this. Black women, as far as the races go, to me, have been the least amount of protected by their counterparts, us. But I don't feel like that's all our fault. When I heard about the Tory Lanez and the Megan Thee Stallion situation, I was just like, he's a coward. You know, just to jump back into what was actually brought up, you know, I felt as though he's a coward. You know, I can't see myself putting my hands on a woman, but that's myself. Him, I don't know him like that. So, you know, as far as being a man, you should never put your hands on a woman, let alone shoot a woman. So I felt it was cowardly.
Good answer.
I'm sorry for I'm sorry for derailing.
No, okay. Do you have another answer?
Well, I mean, after Jesse Jackson just preached, I don't think I have anything to say.
I'm sorry.
But in all seriousness, no. When I first heard of it, I jokingly said, "God damn!" But in all seriousness, should have thought. No, in all seriousness, though, seriously, there's no reason to. I don't like.
Maybe she was running at the mouth.
So, yeah,
like Black women do, you know.
Like,
how we do.
That's a nice trap. Trap.
Don't fall in the trap.
That's good. I have 2 sisters and a wife and a daughter. It's not gonna work. Very good. No, but there's no reason for that. Because when I think of picking up a pistol and shooting somebody, there's a consequence that can be life. That can be fatal. Okay, you know, and I don't have. There's no defense for that. There's no, you know, oh, he could not. You picked up a pistol and shot a woman in the foot. Grant, what if
that's not? I don't even feel like that was the. I mean, that's bad. Okay, there's no defense for that. But he made a series of decisions after that too, right? Like he and his PR team decided, oh, we are going to get out there in front, deny it. We not going, you know, we gonna let Meg like just kind of protect him, all this different stuff. And then it's not until she came out and said, here's what happened, right? And that he then, there was no more denying. Like he had to then come out and I guess he did an apology that wasn't really an apology.
But I'm sorry to cut you off, but
yeah,
what pissed me off is that in a day and age, you know, where, you know, the tension in America is crazy between Caucasians and Blacks, or law enforcement and people that are unarmed being shot, whether it's the Sandra Bland's, the Breonna Taylors, and all this other stuff. You pick up a freaking pistol and you shoot. Like, that really pissed me off. Because here it is that we're trying to make progress. Here it is that it seems from the outside looking in that there is some type of process that people are actually listening to our message. And in all this going on, you have a drunken night, you get in a disagreement, instead of going in the car and saying, listen, I'm out. Or just, all right, you can have the car, I'm out. You pick a pistol and shoot. Like, that doesn't make sense. And granted, you know, arguments happen. People say things that they don't necessarily mean. You know, threats can be made, whatever it may be. But to actually pick a pistol and shoot someone, especially in this climate, we get cursed, right? I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That honestly was my whole, when I heard, like, what the fuck?
That's in this curse.
Right now?
Curse of curse.
Really?
Like, so big one.
That's the
And then
It's kind of like Meg the Stallion and Cardi B putting out WAP right now. It's like, what were they thinking? You know?
Stop it. That's not gonna work.
Like the timing.
I
The
mean,
timing.
so
Oh my
If you
inappropriate.
don't like a song, you can press off.
Don't you
on one of the
agree,
next
Obed?
channel. I do not agree with that sentiment. If you put on whatever music, I don't have to like your song. If I don't
I
like your
just want
song,
to say
I just put
that
something else
song
on.
is so raunchy. It's so
Raunchier than Kia's My Neck, My Back?
yes,
No.
You lie.
yes.
You lie. You need
To
to.
me, it is.
It's not. It's not.
Okay, we're not. Listen. We can have
Ushi Wally
No, I think we
Wally.
should. I think we should.
Ushi
I think
Wally
we
Wally
should.
Ushi Bang Bang. That's not Raunchier than that. Doing It by LL Cool J. That's not Raunchier than
No, 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 no. It is not
Starred-
raunchier
starred
than
by
Doing It
Luke.
Al
That's
Jr.
like Sinbad.
You might
cracking
like
jokes.
it, bro.
No,
and
no, no,
that's
no, no.
okay.
No, no, no,
But
no.
it's equal, and it's okay.
No.
Flexing and
It's not
sexing,
equal.
all while we
shouldn't
doing
be.
it. It was
That
really
song should not.
Do you think it's raunchy because they're like talking about all the things that they would do?
Yes.
I don't care.
Yes. It's just
Listen
a
to
little.
verse.
I got 2 kids. You understand what I'm saying?
And so because the woman is taking ownership of like her sexuality,
no,
like that.
it's not.
Yeah,
If
you
it
got
were a
it.
man
It's
saying
not-
what he wanted the woman to do,
No,
it
I'm not
probably
gonna
be
listen to
okay,
it.
Let me
right?
just finish what I'm saying.
I agree, Terrell. Get back in the kitchen. You know what I
I'm
mean?
saying. No, I didn't
Oh,
say
I
that.
mean,
First
because
of
when Luke, who was it that was like skeet skeet skeet?
Yeah.
Thank
Right?
you.
That's
First of all,
perfectly
it's not as
appropriate.
raunchy.
Can I just
That wasn't
Put it in
appropriate,
my
but were you
mouth.
dancing to that? Like I was wondering, but I
It's
go,
one
that was a
thing.
man
Oh,
singing.
that one was nasty. Put it in my mouth. That one is equally as nasty.
I'd rather hear a
If
female
you-
say it, honestly. But go ahead. I'm
But
sorry.
playing, that's something fun. I mean, because we do like to play and we have some games. So if you guys are up for them,
I was just gonna
Oh.
say one last thing about what
Mhm.
Terrell, the Reverend, just said. I feel that it is always your choice, no matter who puts what out. It's your choice to listen to it or not. If it comes on, you don't like it, big deal. But all the uproar and politicians getting all crazy, like it's unnecessary. Seriously, like you've heard worse. There have been worse that have come out. Stop it. But yes, continue.
Okay.
Okay.
I just
Yeah, I feel like it's time for some games.
Yes.
yay.
We'll
Like
let-
the mood. Woohoo! Yes.
We'll let Terrell's
we
blood
don't-
pressure come down a little. We'll play some games.
Listen, I done filled my
Give him
red
some
cup up
air.
about 3 times.
Oh, pass me the church
All right,
fan.
This is easy.
He thinking about
his part now. We're
He
moving.
thinking about his little girl listening to WAP. That got his pressure up on
It
high.
really did. It
Right.
really did.
I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. I don't even want my fiance listening to it. It's so terrible. I'm like, what the hell do they have on the radio nowadays?
yeah, women out here claiming their sexuality.
Oh my
That's
God,
what
that's
you
not what
call-
we're
that's
saying.
what it is.
That's not what I'm saying. I'll say that's not what I'm
Okay.
saying. You go ahead and you claim that.
You claim it.
Okay.
You claim it.
Okay.
You claim it.
Everybody knows the women shouldn't even enjoy sex.
Exactly. Lay there and take it, you know?
Lay there.
No,
produce a baby.
enjoy. We should always.
Okay, so guys, if our guests want to know more about you, how they can find you, how they can follow you, let them know. Let them know.
You can
Where they
follow
can
me. You can follow me at terrell.artist on Instagram or terrell.artist@yahoo.com. Set up your barber appointments, or even if you need a personal chef in your situation, if you can afford me, you have me. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. And you can find me on at ORBerg on my Instagram if you have any acting or model or directing inquiries. Follow me on IG at ORBerg. And you can see what I've been doing on Red Cup Talks on Instagram as well. And we're going to start, honestly, the YouTube channel soon. So stay tuned. Follow us on IG and Instagram at Red Cup Talks for the actual address of the YouTube coming very, very soon. Very, very soon.
Okay. Well, this wraps this episode of
That's
the
it?
Confab Experience.
We survived? Yes.
Barely.
Did
Barely.
we survive?
Barely.
Ah.
But Obed and Terrell, thank you guys so much for being here. We
Of
thank you.
appreciate it.
course.
We had
Thank
a
you for
great
having
time. Some great conversation. And listening audience, thank you for hanging in there with with us today.
Damn.
We hope
Only
you
male
had,
guest in the hanging.
right. We hope you had as good a time as we did. And we hope that you have a confabulous day.
Bye.
Is that what we're doing? Hands like this?
Continue the experience on our social media handles at The Confab Experience.